Everyone, welcome back to Daily Devotions, another day that God has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We rejoice in His Word. We rejoice in His presence. We rejoice in His victories over sin, death, and the power of the devil. And as we just spoke about last video of being able to say His power, His presence over the battles, over the enemies, being able to push us forward into walking in faith with Him. Thanks for joining us once again. Psalm chapter 60. Psalm 60, meditating upon God's word here, and there is a context for this psalm. As you see in the title, it's speaking towards battles that Israel was taking at the time of David, and being able to know that David was declaring victory and winning victories. And as we get to see here, you can check this out in 2 Samuel chapter 8, 1 Chronicles chapter 18, being able to kind of get this context of David fighting the battles, especially up in the northern region of Israel. But as that time was happening, as they were up in that northern, their southern border was exposed. And so that's where we get to see the Edomites from the south being able to kind of bring in a little bit of a battle. Didn't win the battle, but they actually expressed the battle and brought forth underneath in that southern part a little bit of a headache because of the battles happening up north. And that's where this Psalm 60 can really be read from, of exposure, of being able to have this time of a little bit of humility and danger, especially in the southern region. And so when this psalm comes forth, you get to see asking of the Lord, while we're winning those victories, what about the protection? While we're fighting the battles, what about your presence? And so asking the questions is always great. I always love to tell people that. When you have questions, when you're upset or even angry, emotional with the Lord, bring it to Him. Bring it to Him because He can handle it. He's bigger than our problems. He's bigger than that battle, and He's bigger than what we have in mind or what we're assuming He has in mind. And so ask Him why. Be angry with Him. Being able to understand that He can handle it, but can He also align us to the places that we need to be and just walking by faith with Him. Psalm chapter 60. Let's meditate together. You have rejected us, O God, and burst forth upon us. You have been angry. Now restore us. You have shaken the land and torn it open. Mend its fractures, for it is quaking. You have shown your people desperate times. You have given us wine that makes us stagger. But for those who fear you, you have raised a banner, to be unfurled against the bow. Save us and help us with your right hand, that those you love may be delivered. God has spoken from His sanctuary. In triumph I will parcel out Shechem and measure off the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is my helmet, Judah my scepter. Moab is my wash basin. Upon Edom I toss my sandal. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. Who will bring me to the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? Is it not you, O God? You who have rejected us and no longer go out with our armies? Give us aid against the enemy, for the help of man is worthless. With God we will gain the victory, and He will trample down our enemies. You go into a little bit of a geography test in the middle of that psalm of speaking to Shechem and Succoth and Gilead, but as he gets to Gilead, Ephraim, and Judah, we get to see those names of the tribes of Israel. And so he's talking about His presence with Israel and actually His distance from Edom, its distance from Succoth, and being able to know Succoth is really that Egypt time. I brought you out of Egypt. Now I'm with you, the tribe of Israel, even fighting against your enemies. And by the end of the psalm, he says, with God, we will gain the victory. He's going to trample down our enemies. We trust in Him, but yet we feel exposed right now. It feels like we're losing in some kind of manner. But when you're on the side of God, there is never a loss. It might be a loss according to our eyes, according to what we're experiencing, but He will and always does win the victory. And so as we have here, we have this psalm of confession. We have this psalm of putting before the Lord questions, but yet it always amounts towards answers of victory and of presence and of walking with us. Although it seems like you've left our armies and are not fighting with them, you fight in your own way, God. And so show us that, Lord. Be present in amongst the fight and amongst the battles. Show us the victory, but as you show us the victory, it's a beautiful thing that you always align us to keep our eyes fixed on the victory that was won through your Son, Jesus Christ, on the cross and in the empty tomb. Your grace is enough. So, Father, hear our questions. Entertain our doubts. Continue to visit us with your answers and with your love through Jesus Christ. Have a blessed day.